Chuck Shalley and Dan Dibble were working together at Beamer Wilkinson as electrical engineers, and they decided to start their own firm so that they could practice the brand of engineering that they felt very strongly about, which was to be an integral part of the process. Not just to be the engineer doing the design, but to be there throughout the whole process, help with construction, and make sure that every project was done correctly.
Still to this day, most firms in our industry are named after the person that founded the firm. Chuck and Dan chose the engineering enterprise so that it would be a never-ending firm. We would, through different leadership, just continue along the same path and never have to change our name.
2 years later, they brought in 2 other principals, Mike Gill and Rich Kenny, to be the founding 4 principals. A couple of years later, Brian Smith joined the firm.
I played basketball with the main principal there, Chuck Shalley, once a week. He rented a gym in Oakland, and we'd get together and play basketball. And finally, he offered me a job. and so I started in 1978 with the engineering enterprise.
A very well-rounded, diverse group that all filled particular roles within the company and just kind of made the machine work. When you hit the ground running with some projects like they did, you establish your name pretty quickly within the industry. Moscone Center in San Francisco was one of their early projects.
Originally, Chuck Shalley was hired to do a very small portion of that job, and the electrical engineer overseeing the majority of it was let go, and they offered the rest of it to Chuck.
He went out and traveled the country and went to like 5 or 6 convention centers, set up meetings with facility folks at these convention centers.
He slept in his office for a year every night so that he could make sure that he kept up with the job, because he was one engineer doing the job of probably 10 engineers. And a lot of people were watching that job, and it really catapulted us into the mainstream. All of our growth has been organic. It's been because we had opportunities, not because we searched them out, but because they came to us.
Scott Wheeler wanted to move up to Grass Valley, where he was from. We did not want to lose Scott Wheeler.
We had contacts in the Sacramento area and the opportunity to work on projects there. Scott took advantage of those opportunities and very quickly built that office into 3 people, then 5, then 10, and now there's about 18 people there.
After that, Dave Johnson wanted to move to Santa Barbara, so we opened an office down there.
And opening an office in Los Angeles was just a natural next step.
We brought back 2 past employees who we loved, who were in San Diego and weren't working for us any longer because we didn't have a San Diego office. So they started working remotely, and it led to us opening a San Diego office.
We had an employee that worked for us for a long time who moved back to Missouri to be near his family, and he kept working for us. He hired 2 more people to support him, so we actually do have an office in Neosho, Missouri, and I challenge you to find where that is.
We're one company. We're not TEE Auburn, we're not TEE Alameda, we're not TEE San Diego, we're the engineering enterprise.
Our unofficial company motto is exceed expectations, so we enter every project with that attitude. I think our clients appreciate it. I think they appreciate the hard work that we put in. We will lose money on a project if we have to make sure it's done right, and we always support our design team members.
We have one goal on every project. That one goal is to make sure that every single person that we work with on that project wants to work with us at the end of the project.
Being transparent, having healthy conversations, being able to say when you're wrong, being able to ask for help, all of those things are super important, because as a company, we all want to be successful. And I know for me, I want my associates to be successful, and my colleagues, and all of the people that we work with in this industry. I think our culture is that way, but it's not a purposeful attribute that we are drilling or coaching on. It's just sort of become who we are.
It's 100% about the people and the relationships. We have tried to hire the right people. Now we try to say, just go be yourself.
We definitely have something special here, but I think it starts with project ownership. If you're happy with the project you're working on and you know that that's your work and you're not just regurgitating something that your boss gives you, I think you could take a special kind of pride in that.
One of the things that kept me here as a highly motivated person was someone that trusted me enough to give me an opportunity specifically to potentially make a mistake. because in this industry, mistakes can be very expensive. But for me, I saw it as, wow, these people trust me, and they trust me at such an early age. To be able to make a mistake is really valuable. And that was a motivator to me and drove me to stay here.
The average tenure of our employees is about 16 years right now. And so a lot of the people that are here I've known for a very long time. You know, I was a 22-year-old kid when I started here, and there are people that were here before me that are still here. So they're family. And that's the way we like to look at our company, is it's one big family.
The tenure of their people is important for us to continue to partner with them for project after project. We start to build those relationships.
I've had opportunities to go work for another company, and I would never do it because I get to do and be a part of something that I wouldn't change. You know, we get to heavily influence how our company works and the type of things that we do.
I think we're able to keep people because we treat them well, we respect each other, we try to train and make sure everyone's at the top of their game.
Here at the Engineering Enterprise, we support young engineers who are passionate about a certain aspect of our business or an aspect of our business that we don't have a lot of experience in. We encourage them to learn, come back to us, tell us what it is, and we will pursue it. So there are no limitations for young engineers. We're not a stopover on your journey. We're a place that you can call home and stay. So I think we've done a very good job selecting people, empowering them, helping them figure out what they're passionate about, and supporting them in that. The way that we try to exceed our employees' expectations is giving them a seat at the table. We have committees that are set up that are specifically meant to support our employees so that they can make decisions about the culture of the company, events that we have, how we recognize individual employees for good work, celebrating birthdays, and we give our employees almost as much input on that as the principals. We feel like it's an employee-driven company, and sometimes it feels good to get out of the way and let the employees decide how the culture is going to operate.
You know, we are an ESOP, so we are employee-owned, but we do push ownership in all kinds of different terms, whether it's taking ownership of your project, taking ownership of a project that you touch. Okay, if you come in and you work for an hour on a project, if you don't take ownership, you're gonna lack the care that you need to have to do that task at the highest level. There's not a single person here who we're not gonna listen to for an idea.
Another thing that we try to do is allow employees to choose projects that they want to work on. If they're passionate about a certain industry, a certain client, a certain area, we want them to focus on that. We're going to support them no matter what in their pursuit of their own identity as an engineer.
My favorite part about this business, I think, is the variety of projects and people and information that we get to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And the flexibility of our firm makes it even more enjoyable.
Every day is going to be different, and I just enjoy that. I don't like doing the same thing every day.
And that's why people like to be here, is they get to work on projects that they find fulfilling and get joy out of. And I know for me that was super important too, but important in the context that I don't do the same thing every day. In fact, I rarely do the same thing. And if it wasn't for the exact same client building the exact same building, I don't think I'd do the same thing twice.
I personally like a challenge in my projects, so that is something that we kind of all strive for, and I think it keeps us fresh and it keeps us wanting to learn more.
Hard work pays off, and I think there's a lot of examples of that here at the Engineering Enterprise.
Being young and being exposed to all different types of projects will allow them to figure out what they like, what they're good at, and then keep pursuing that path.
Having someone who you can ask a question that you're afraid might be a dumb question in a one-on-one setting who's not your boss is super important so that's why we developed the mentoring program.
Oh, I made a ton of mistakes. All my questions were dumb. I may not have known it at the time, but I'm sure they were all dumb, and I had no fear of doing that whatsoever.
There's not a checklist here on how to get from one place to the other. It's just experience, and interacting with each other, I think, helps with that experience.
I tell the employees, the young employees, when you're in a meeting, listen to everything they're talking about, even if it doesn't affect you. Keep an open mind, listen to everything, and you'll just start absorbing all this information.
We have so many quality individuals that are going to take this into the next 50 years.
I just want to see it grow like it's been growing, and stay in business and conform to whatever the industry's doing at the time. I mean, I saw so much change in my 47 years that I'm sure that kind of change is going to triple what I saw in the next 50 years.
I think there's a lot of new, let's say, technology that's coming onto the scene right now, which I'm a little jealous because as my career is ending, there's a lot of new potential for that type of business. And I hope the new employees will take that and run with it.
The people that are here are my family, and I'd like to see that this company is in a strong position in the next 50 years for all the future generations that come behind me. And part of that is my job, but part of it is the future folks' job too, because I'm not going to be here forever. But the time that I am here, I'd like to make sure that I contribute as much as I can to their future success.
Continue growing, continue providing excellent service to keep up that 95% retention rate, to provide an environment where people are going to want to spend the rest of their career here.
I am excited about the next 50 years because I think we have a great group of young engineers on staff who hopefully will stick around and be part of the future. I think the future is very bright for our company because of these young folks, as long as we keep exceeding expectations, working hard, and doing the right thing on projects.
I thank everybody who's been involved with this company up to this point, and we hope we can continue serving our clients and our employees as we have in the past.
I love all you guys, and let's keep it going for another 50 years.
Being around for 50 years is a true testament to the people. Every single staff member has had a part in the history, whether you're here now or a past employee. And the care and the empathy that I've seen from employees here is it's still inspiring to me. It really is. The patience and support from everybody has been amazing. I mean, I have a lot of pride, you know. So there you go.